Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Sarcasm Speaks. It's Jared and Bob, and we have a fun little one for you out of the gate, just to again really hammer home how terrible of a state Massachusetts is. In case anyone forgot, um, I think you sent this to our Twitter group originally. That's how I saw it.
Jones sent it, but yeah.
Jones, yeah. Um, so there's an article from NBC 10 Boston, and the headline reads as follows: Should Massachusetts have tighter rules around sports gambling? New bill would impose strict limits. So, to answer that question, no. No, Massachusetts should not have tighter rules around sports gambling. Um, we already have relatively tight rules, right? Like you can't bet on, I mean, this is kind of nitpicking, but you can't bet on props in the Super Bowl. You can't bet on any college sport that resides within the state of Massachusetts. Um, there are some other weird, like goofy things you can't do in Massachusetts. Um, but for the most part, I mean, again, it's fine. Sports betting in Massachusetts, or legal sports betting, I should say, um, does everything that I needed to do right now, right? Are there some missing features that would be nice if it were added? Yeah, of course, right? It's not perfect. Um, but I don't think we need to be heading in that direction, in the wrong direction, in my opinion, where there's more restriction. Um, so the subheadline here is Massachusetts residents have wagered over $13 billion on sports betting platforms since mobile sports platforms went live in the state in March of 2023. So, I mean, 13 billion certainly is a lot of money. It sounds like a lot of money, but in 2 years, was that 13 billion divided by 24 months? That's 500, roughly $550 million a month. Um, it's not like, as far as sports betting goes, like that's not huge, right? When you compare it to what, obviously Vegas isn't a good comparison, but if you compare it to like
New York,
New York
New
and New
York and
Jersey,
Chicago, I assume, are higher than that.
yeah, New Jersey is definitely higher. Chicago, or Illinois, I should
Or
say, is
Illinois,
higher.
yeah.
I mean, let's be real. Outside of Chicago, there's nothing else in Illinois.
Colorado's got to be. I I don't know. I would like to think Colorado's probably pretty high, but
Yeah.
um, I
And
don't know.
obviously there's some variation in there too, right? Like I think when we first opened, or we talked about it on the show, was it September of 2024 where the handle was like 2 billion or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a flat 550 every month.
Right, right,
It's going to
right.
be March Madness, Super Bowl,
And then the month of July, you'll get,
nothing.
100 million.
Yeah, I mean, beginning of every season, the Celtics won the, oh my God, how much Stanley Cup? They won the championship last year. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
there's factors to it.
right, right. So why don't you take me through a little bit of what they want to do? Like, have you read
Yeah,
through a bunch of it?
yeah, and I took notes on it too.
Okay, good.
Now there's some type of pop-up that's fucking up my ability to do this right now, so I might need a second.
Of course,
Yep,
because
sure
why
do.
not?
What am I gonna donate to? I don't want to donate to anything.
Yeah, that's dumb.
What the fuck is BRM donate? This isn't what I
BRM
want.
donate.
Go away.
Boston
Okay,
Recycling Man.
I don't know. I'm back. So some dickhead from Quincy, to summarize, he likens this to the rise of online betting to the emergence of the opioid crisis.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So it's never going to be that way. So obviously I disagree. Obviously I am pro sports betting. So it's going to be hard to convince me that we shouldn't have it in this state. But it's also legal.
Yeah.
The opioid crisis is illegal. So right then and there, you have a problem.
Yes.
And the legality of sports betting means it is a revenue generator for the state.
Yes.
No one earns off the opioid crisis,
Except for the opioid companies.
but even like yeah, the crisis typically speaks to the mostly like the black market because like again, the crisis of it. Yes, I know it's a problem with prescriptions and morally flexible doctors and people who have surgery and get hooked. Like I get it, the whole thing, but we are kind of having a legal versus illegal argument here.
Right.
Because if we're talking about well, opioids are legal and whatever, then it's like okay, now we're talking about medicine and we're talking about insurance companies. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
So
It's
whichever
politics talk.
avenue,
It's he's
which
trying to be I forget the word. I can't think of it right now. But he's trying to be like, you know, uh not enthusiastic, but he's playing it up, right? He's
yeah,
hamming it up. Oh,
perhaps
this
it's
is this
hyperbole.
yeah, yeah. Oh, this is just like the opioid
It's
epidemic.
not.
No, it's not
So
actually.
so let's stop that right there. It's also a revenue generator for the state. So if you do it correctly, it earns money. But so here we are. Back to what some of the summer or some of the points are. They want to increase the corporate revenue tax for online sports betting companies from 20% to 51%. That would be the same as New York, Rhode Island, New Hampshire. I disagree, but whatever. Honestly, I don't
Yeah.
I don't again I don't agree, but fine. My only question is, how does that help uh, cut the parallels to the opioid crisis? How does taxing these companies more
Yeah. Yep.
um, change that?
Yeah. Oh, sports betting it's at the beginning stages of similar to the opioid epidemic. It's a terrible thing. It's a disease. All right. Well, how do we solve it? Well, we need to tax it more.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
So
like that doesn't
so
make any so that's
what?
not consistent with the arguments and that doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah, these guys are
if
full of
you want to
shit.
if you want to up the tax rate, and that's the thing is like you can't just stand up there and be like, all right, well, if we're gonna have sports betting in this state, we're gonna make it worth it.
Yeah.
Or it's like we're going to come up to a rate that's congruent to or comparable to other states in the region.
Right.
Again, I disagree, but I don't really care either
Yeah, I mean, in
because
principle, I don't think, regardless of whatever it is, right? I don't think the government should be taking 51% of
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 anything, it's
anything
too high.
because that means the government now owns it, right? Like if you're collecting
Yeah, but New York may
51%,
have fucked us on that one.
yeah. Again, that's my own opinions aside and not going down a rabbit hole there. Yeah, I agree with you. Right. Like I
Yeah, no,
disagree
I think it's
in
and yeah,
principle,
no, I
but
think
at
it's
the end
too
of the
high.
day, whatever.
So, prohibit sports betting advertising during broadcast of sporting events and advertisement containing language that misrepresents a customer's odds at winning. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Um, and that's the other piece is like I actually think the marketing is part of the problem of what's going on. So, and that's both social media and mainstream media.
Yeah.
Require online betting companies to double their financial contribution to the Commonwealth's Public Health Trust Fund, which supports gambling addiction treatment services. Okay, again, fine. But now, through 3 points, you have asked these companies to decrease their advertising, so their ability to potentially add customers or add revenue.
Right.
You are increasing their tax rate and you're asking them to double their financial contributions.
Right.
So you are effectively trying to suck these companies dry. And again, their financial contributions to this fund, I assume that is a deductible expense. So now by doubling that, I'm sure it's not a little bit either,
Right.
but by doubling that, now you are harming the gross total that the state will be able to tax on them because you've added an expense for them for free.
Right. Right.
So and I will say, so that point there, at least that one's That one is in line with what this dickhead was saying at
Yeah.
first. But behind everything, right? The Commonwealth's Public Health Trust Fund, there's no way that the people who actually need that is receiving it.
No,
I'm just
zero
assuming that
chance.
that's just levels and levels of bureaucratic bullshit. So,
100%. I guarantee it.
but I don't, and this is the thing, I don't think you can ask them to double contributions and increase their tax rate. Like, there's going to be nothing left at some
Right.
point.
Right.
Prohibit sports betting operators from paying employees based on a percentage of how much they convince a customer to bet, effectively doing away with predatory host employees. Okay, I don't know who these people are, but that's fine. Get rid of that shit. Just
Yeah.
pay the people, just pay the employees.
Who
Um,
calls DraftKings to be like, yeah, can I place a bet?
or it's like, yeah, it's
Like,
like,
you sure you only want to bet 10 on that? Like, who
I
does
don't,
that?
it's fucking weird. That's a weird point. So I don't exactly know what that is. I would hope that that would kind of include some of like the social media influence things, whatever. But it's also
Yeah, because
impossible.
isn't a lot of their thing like they don't do verbal bets?
Well, they don't. So I don't know. I don't know how that one actually works, but also like there's also things because it's like, well, okay, well, you can't employ someone to do this stuff. It's like, oh, okay, cool, we won't. But it's legal to do in Chicago, and this person does it over social media. Like, there's no boundaries to social
Right.
media in some of this stuff.
Right.
It's a weird thing that they're trying to do, and obviously what they're trying to do is throw 17 different things at them, and hopefully they get the one. There's the tax rate.
Right. Right.
Uh, this is actually I'm going to come back to this one. Add sports agents and promoters to the list of those prohibited from wagering on sporting events. Fine, keep them out. That's okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Limit how much people can bet each day unless gambling operators conduct affordability checks on customers to determine they have sufficient funds. That doesn't need to come from the state. They're already doing that.
Right.
Now, I know what they're saying is, well, if someone's losing, they can only lose so much. Yeah, I guess. I don't know, but like if one person places one $5,000 bet, like there are limits on most of these bets anyway. I don't
Right.
know. So that's a weird one. I don't again, that's not the state's job in my opinion. Um so fuck that. Direct the Massachusetts Commission to research the links between problem gambling and suicide. Why would you ask the operators to direct the MGC to that research? Why? That's
Yeah.
like that doesn't make any fucking sense to me. That would be like back in the day going to the mafia and being like, "Oh yeah, hey, can you show us can you help the cops figure out where like all the racketeering's happening?" It's like, "Oh yeah, sure. Come on, come right down." Like
Yeah.
and it's like I don't want to diminish whatever the link is because I don't know it, and I don't want to diminish the link between whatever problem gambling and suicide is. That's not what I'm trying to do. The Massachusetts Gaming Commission should be doing that independently. That should be their job, not the operator's job.
Right. Right.
That point doesn't make any sense to me either. Require online sports betting operators to provide the state with anonymized customer data on betting activities, including wager amounts and frequency, so qualified researchers can study problem gambling. No, no, that's not the state.
Yeah.
That's not up to the state.
Correct.
Like, what are they going to do with that information?
Yeah, I don't know.
So so
That's
the
a
one I wanted to it's a
weird thing
so some of
because
these again some of these points they're throwaway points because they don't make any sense.
yeah.
Um, so the one I want to come back to is the one that really was the only one I kind of like felt anything towards. Ban in-play and prop bets, which public health experts warn are designed to promote addictive behaviors. Okay, so this is the thing. If you're going to ban live betting and prop bets and increase their tax rate and decrease their advertising capabilities and increase how much they need to put into a trust fund, I hope the operators just pull out of the state. I'll go back to betting offshore. I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't really care. But if this is what they're going to do,
Yeah.
just I hope everyone pulls out.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, then you're gonna have the state's gonna be sitting there, being like, oh no, what do we do? We're losing all this revenue, right? Because I forget I know we pulled the numbers once upon a time, but I forget how much the state actually makes in a year. Um, can ask
I want to say it's like
ChatGPT.
$500 million.
How much does the state of Massachusetts bring in per year in revenue? Uh, Not revenge, revenue for legal sports betting. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say. As of December 2024, the Massachusetts Gaming Commission reported that the Commonwealth had collected approximately $222 million in total taxes and assessments from sports wagering operations. Um,
Okay, so it's a quarter of a billion.
yeah. So I don't know if that is just in the 2024 year.
Oh, it has to be. It
I think
can't. That
so.
can't be
Yeah.
over 2 years. No
Yeah.
way.
So they're making, call it, roughly 225. Yeah, like you said, a quarter of $1 billion almost per year. If they keep putting the choke on these guys and they just are like, all right, see ya, we're out, we're done. That's a quarter of $1 billion that the state now loses. We're already in a massive deficit because the governor is a fucking moron and spent all kinds of stupid money housing illegal immigrants in hotels and then lying about it and then admitting to it after, but then lying about it again. So, I mean, honestly, the state is fucked, right? Like the governor is an absolute fucking shit stick. So it should probably going to be a one-term governor, which I think is hilarious. But not to go down a weird rabbit hole, I think she's going to run for president in 2028. But um, yeah, it's just not good. It's not good, right? Even if you don't bet on sports, right? Just on the principles alone, right? Like the state is now coming in, like you said, they're upping the amount of money they're going to take in taxes. They are restricting what they can actually bring money in for, right? If they get rid of live and prop bets, they're making them dish out more money to the trust fund, right? And it's like, what are you doing? And to your point too, now that we have all these people that have had access to legal sports betting for 3 years, because it got legalized in 2022, so I know it didn't go mobile until March of 2023, but um, effectively, almost three years. Um, they're not gonna stop, right? Like that's the thing that again, you have these politicians and these people that like you're just so fucking dumb, man. Like I just don't understand dumb people. Sports betting, like the act of betting on sports has been around way longer than these regulated sports books. And the act of betting on sports will continue to exist long after these books as well, right? Like
Well, there's
if
also a
you if you pinch the legal books to the point where it's not worth their time anymore and they all leave, all of these people, that quarter of $1 billion that the state is going to just see disappear quite literally into thin air, that money is now going to go to Bet Online, MyBookie, Bet US, right? Like they're just going to keep betting on these offshore books.
Yeah, so I got here. to make it harder for people to bet legally, they'll do it illegally.
Yeah,
They will, because the people that are going to do it are going to do it. What you'll also probably see too is individual operators will start to just bail because truthfully in the state, or I'm sorry, in the country, it's FanDuel, it's DraftKings, it's probably a Cliff, and then it's BetMGM and Caesars, but BetMGM and Caesars have other ways to buoy what they do.
right.
Um,
Because they're a legit casino
yeah, but I was gonna say like
firm.
you're gonna stop seeing people operate in this state. It's not
Yeah,
worth it.
yeah,
Um, it also isn't clear from the recap if this is only going to apply to mobile because going from 20 to 51, the in-house tax rate's 15. So it didn't really mention that.
yeah,
Um, but people don't want to bet in person.
right.
So none of that changes anything. Because if they turn around like, well, you can still go to the casino. No,
Yeah,
no. Uh, all of these hoops to jump through just means that the operators need to find more creative ways to get theirs. Because that's the other piece is the state moves too slow. So other places have probably already tried this stuff. So the DraftKings, the FanDuels, whatever, they already know their workarounds. They
that's the
already know how they're
advantage.
going to beat this.
That
They are always going to be a step ahead.
that's the advantage that these companies have, right? Is that they operate in multiple states with multiple different rules and regulations. So they already have teams in place in, Illinois, right, that may have to deal with something similar. And they're like, okay, we'll just pivot and do this, right? Or like, well, all right, well, we know we can just do this because this is what we have to do in Ohio, right? That has a goofy regulation. So we'll just apply those principles here, right? And then we loophole and we backdoor our way into, you know, not really losing that much of the bottom line.
Um, Most of those points do not do anything to work with those parallels of the opioid crisis. That is a fear tactic, whatever. I don't know. Someone smarter than me can tell me what they're doing, but
It's bullshit. That's
it's
what it
bullshit.
is.
That's what it is. Like that's the layman's term for what they're doing is bullshit.
Yeah, you're fear mongering. You're
And that's the thing
playing
is like they
off
don't
of
do anything about the
emotions.
opioid crisis here now.
Yeah.
So what the fuck am I worried? Like why do you care about sports betting if you don't? Because it might be like the opioid crisis. You don't even care about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
What
guys
are you
do
doing
not
to
care
fix
about
the
that.
opioid crisis either,
Nothing.
right? Like they just talk about it. Oh, we have to talk
Nothing.
about it. Well, yeah, but what are you doing about it? Nothing. Well, sports betting is just going to be like the opioid crisis. Well, one, no, it isn't. And two, all of these regulations that you're trying to implement, how does that fix what could potentially be the opioid crisis? Because it
It doesn't.
sounds like you're just trying to get more money for the state. Which again, like you said it right out of the gate. If you're trying to if that is your end game, right? And you just want more money for the state, it's like a cartoon when like the dollar signs like pop out of the eyeballs, right? You have the ability to say exactly what you said, right? Uh, you know, uh, After review of the first 24 months, we noticed there are certain trends here and there. So we are going to take, protocols and procedures to normalize our regulations similar to the other states in our region that also allow legal betting. There you go. Boom, done. Right? Like if New York has 51% tax rate and Rhode Island has like a 48% and New Hampshire has like a 48%. Okay, then just be like, yeah, we only operate at 30%. So all the other states around us are at somewhere between 48 and 51. So we're just gonna move so we're closer to them, right? Like just say that. Like I don't understand why people can't just do that.
My last takeaway is they're still treating sports betting like something that they do not want here, and that it is not an asset or a revenue generator.
Yeah,
Because they acted like that at the very beginning, trying to get it legalized. Um, they're still acting like that.
yeah,
They're looking at it like it's a problem.
yeah. Just a
And
terrible
last
fucking
last I
state.
checked, two two and a quarter, 250 million, whatever it would be. Last I checked, that can't really be a bad thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Also,
$250 million a year.
different as an aside, how does this state, and you already answered it, I'm just throwing this, I'm saying it a different way. How does this state go from having an excess in the budget to owing us money to adding a revenue stream to now being in a deficit in like 3 years?
Yeah,
How the fuck do you manage to pull that off?
yeah. That's weird. What happened roughly 3 years ago? We got a new governor. He's a fucking moron.
So bad.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, she sucks. She's really bad. Like it is.
Do you hear her little fucking oil not oil, her little gas fucking facade thing?
Oh yeah, yeah. There, I saw the videos
Did
all
you hear
over Twitter.
did
So,
you hear what has happened since?
I don't know. Fill me in.
Yeah, National Grid's like, yeah, we're not going to be charging you guys interest. His cunty Chris told me, he's like, he goes, like all that shit. I was like, yeah. He goes, got a letter. No interest will be charged. I was like, that stunk of a lawsuit the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
And anytime someone can sue the state with like good grounds, got to imagine that's lucrative.
Oh yeah, for sure, for
Yeah, my
sure.
lawyer's fees for this were $1,200 an hour. It's like, well, I thought normally you were 600. This is I couldn't really take on this case, but for 1,200, I sure can.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I did we talk about that on the show? I don't even remember. But there
What
was
the original, we talked about the original thing where it was like you're gonna get a 5% decrease, but over the other months your bill's gonna go up and they're gonna charge interest or
yeah.
something.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's also part of the energy crisis in the state. Someone posted a video from Healy like I don't know, last year or the year before where she was at some conference and she was gloating about how she blocked two gas pipelines being brought into the state. Like there was a proposal to pipe two separate pipelines into the state, right, to provide more liquefied natural gas, right, as an option for, you know, Eversource, National Grid, whomever needs it, right? And she was like, "Yeah, we're not doing that. We're saving the environment. We're doing all this. Like, we're not letting pipelines come into this state." And fast forward 2 years later, and everyone's like, "Oh, we're in an energy crisis in this state. Like, there's not enough liquefied natural gas, and everyone's gas bills are going through the fucking roof." And now the state, their solution, again, I just I don't understand dumb people and how dumb people find their way into like going up the chain in politics because their solution isn't to be like, hey, you know what? Yeah, maybe we were wrong, or let's split the difference here. Maybe we'll let one pipeline in, right? Like, let's give the people some relief, but it's not two, so we'll save the environment a little bit. But like realistically, guys, like you can get people to buy in on that if you tell people, hey, if we do this, yeah, we'll have to cut down a few trees, but like we'll plant some other trees in a different spot. And also, guess what? Your gas bill would be a lot cheaper, right? At the end of the day, 90% of people only give a shit if their bills get cheaper, right? Like if you tell someone, hey, if we do this, your gas bill is going to get cheaper, they'll be like, yeah, cut down as many fucking trees as you want. I don't care. Like, I don't want to pay $300 a month for my gas bill, right? Like that's how normal people are. But this genius fucking state, their solution, no, no, those two potential pipelines that we said no to before. Nah, let's not, bow our heads, maybe split the difference. Let's do that. No, 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 no. You know what their solution is? We're gonna force everyone in the state to switch to electric power. So now everyone's gonna they're incentivizing, they're heavily incentivizing solar panels, which, hey, again, people being retarded in government. Do you know where we live? Do you have any idea where we live? In the Northeast. Like in the Northeast part of the United States, above the latitude line, fucking, whatever, 50 degrees. Like we are so high up on the fucking earth, and the weather sucks here 6 months out of the year. You're gonna put
You
solar
gotta be
panels on your
ungrateful for
roof?
seasons, though, right?
Yeah, yeah, but seasons are incredible. I love seasons so much. But you're gonna put solar panels on your roof? What are they gonna do from the months of November through April? Nothing. The answer is nothing. They're going to collect zero solar energy. The cumulative amount of energy that they collect from November to April will probably be less than what they collect for the entire month of June. Like it's an absolute fucking waste of time, energy, and money, right? No pun intended. I mean like people's energy, not like the physical, like, to energize your house energy. They're like, yeah, no, if we incentivize solar panels, we'll put more wind turbines everywhere, which I had no idea. I never felt strongly about the wind turbine things until probably like maybe 6 months ago. Um, I found out I went down like a weird rabbit hole, and it turns out that wind energy is the least efficient uh kind of energy, like this bullshit, like quote unquote clean green energy. Wind energy is the worst option you could ever possibly do. The amount of money that it costs to build the turbines and upkeep on them every year far surpasses the amount of money that you save by generating wind powered electricity. There's like all kinds of crazy shit. Like they kill a shit ton of birds. Like people talk about it, it's like a bird graveyard underneath these fucking things because they literally just chop birds out of the sky when they fly by. When they finally meet like their end of life, which is like surprisingly short. I think they only last like 12 to 15 years. They can't recycle them, right? It's just these massive rusted pieces of fucking metal that are just sitting there and they can't do anything with them. It's like, what do you do with something that massive? Right? Like, so they just fucking sit there and they don't get used anymore. And it's just absolute, like, I had no idea, right? Like I said, I never really had a strong opinion, right? Like, you heard the people down on Cape Cod being like, no, say no to wind energy. Like, we want to keep our views, right? Like, we don't want to look at the ocean and see fucking wind turbines. I'm like, that's a little pretentious. But then when I learned a little bit more about it, how awful they were, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, no, fuck that, dude. Like, you're better off putting solar panels on your roof. Like, Like, what are we doing? Wind turbines. Like, fuck, those things are terrible. So, yeah, this state just, they're so fucking dumb. Dude, they're so fucking dumb. Yeah, we're gonna push people for electric. Okay, all right. So let's play the game, right? Let's say you go full electric, right? You switch your house over, you cut off your liquefied natural gas, your gas bill. You're paying $0 a month for gas. Okay, well, how do you heat your house now? Oh, with a heat pump, right? Well, what's the heat pump? Oh, it runs on electricity. Okay, great. All right, so my stove, right, obviously doesn't run on gas anymore. What's it run on? Oh, electricity. All right, cool. So if you were paying $110 a month for your electric bill and $300 a month for your gas bill, and then you completely cut off gas and switch over to electric, and now your electric bill is $400 a month, you didn't fucking save any money.
I won't say I've lived in a couple places that are electric. Electric's not good.
No.
It's really not. It's really expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. But the environment, dude, shut the fuck up. The environment.
I'm sorry, nothing that electric can't be that much better for the environment. It can't be.
No. Never mind.
Nothing's good for the this is the thing for these people, nothing's good for the environment.
Never mind. We talk about it all the time, right? Like these people with their electric cars, and they're like, "Oh, I drive an electric car." Okay, where do you think the electricity comes from? That do you think it just magically comes out of the air? The electricity that comes to your house to power your car, to power your fridge, to power your anything, right? Comes most likely from a coal-fired power plant. That is the cold hard facts, right? Unless you live in an area that might have a nuclear reactor. Shout out to Plymouth, Massachusetts. Um, like nuclear energy is actually probably the best way to go, but everyone is terrified of it because they just think of Fukushima, right, and 3 Mile Island. Like, oh, what happens if it melts down? It's like, well, yeah, but like, what's the statistical probability of that? And also, like, I don't know, dude, just don't fucking live near the nuclear reactor. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just insane how dumb people really are. Because realistically, what it comes down to, again, we can piggyback the electric bullshit and the gas off of this gambling bill. Because what it comes down to is these people don't actually care. They don't actually care. They have an agenda, right? And they're trying to push their agenda and they're masquerading their agenda as, some benevolent cause, right? Oh, well, sports betting is so bad. So, it's the beginning of the opioid epidemic. So we need to tax it more. So we just bring in more revenue for the state. Okay, not really quite sure how that helps prevent an opioid epidemic, but okay. And then it's like, well, we have to save the environment. So we're going to force everyone to switch to electric powered shit and solar panels that don't work 6 months out of the year in fucking New England. It's like, okay, well, that's not very practical. And now you're making people go down a route that's more expensive. Like you're forcing people to spend more money, right? Like, yeah, I know gas and oil can be expensive, but like you said too, like electric everything is more expensive. Like your electric bill it would be through the fucking roof.
Remind the state ain't paying for your conversion, so
Yeah, exactly. So that's what it really comes down to, right? Is these people don't actually give a shit. They don't give a shit about the environment. They don't give a shit about sports betting as an addiction. They don't give a shit about the opioid epidemic. It's all just pushing their own agenda and getting their own shit done, which I mean, I talked about a couple episodes ago when I talked about the vice president of my company that was giving us a little bit of insight into Rhode Island state politics, and that woman that was talking shit to him in the chamber and then outside was super nice and apologized and said the only reason why she did that is so someone else in that chamber would see her as a strong candidate and help her push her other bill through, right? Like that's real. We know that. Like I know that now for a fact. That's all this is. That's all this is. It's all uh, you know, it's not called show standing. What's the fucking word I'm looking for? Grandstanding. That's what I was looking for. It's all grandstanding. Oh, it took me like a half hour to think of that word. That's what I was trying to think of earlier. It's all fake. It's all grandstanding. It's WWE. Politics in this
with
country
worse writers.
has become the WWE, yeah, with worse writers. Because at least the WWE was really fucking entertaining for like 2.5 decades. Right? From 1980 to 2005, it was incredible.
I
And
mean, really the only thing that we can hope for is that this bill is used as leverage for something else and just like doesn't go through.
yeah, I hope so. Well, on that note, you want to wrap this up? We got
Yes.
two games to play today.
Um, quick one. Michaela and I went to the Capitol Grill in Dedham.
Hmm.
We have received gift cards from the wedding, from Christmas, whatever. So I think if you remember while I was on the show, I mentioned going last June. Uh, Coincidentally had a gift card. And I think I mentioned like, hey, there's a veal tomahawk on that menu, and I want to give it a crack. I did that. And I will say, like, veal tomahawk, it was it lived up to the hype.
How
It was
big,
quite good.
like what are we talking,
Well,
ounceage? So
so
like a
ooh,
32 ounce?
no, 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 no. Because remember, veal's way smaller.
But that's true too.
It's way smaller of an animal. So it's like that's the thing is like the bone on it isn't like marowak. It's like it's a it's a it's small because
Right.
it's like a pork chop bone.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Um, I would say it was probably 10 to 12 ounces of veal
Okay.
on the bone. That would be my guess.
Yeah.
Because like I looked at it and I'm like, this is big, but like not unedible big.
Right. Right.
Um, and yeah, I mean it was good. Like it was solid. So because you go because I don't go to these places obviously very frequently. I don't know who really can. Actually I do know who can, but that's fine. Neither here nor there. And it's like, so the next thing that has my eye is actually a double cut lamb rib chop.
Oh.
So effectively, we're just talking about the same fucking thing. We're just talking
Yeah.
about rib eyes from different animals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And um, throwback. So I have sorry, people forget. I've been to Italy once. In the best meal that I've eaten there, which would probably contend for like top five best meal I've fucking ever eaten, was lamb ribs over there. So now this is a lamb rib chop, which means it's going to have more of the meat on it, and it's going to be a
Yeah.
lot closer to a tomahawk than, like you would think ribs. Um, but I'm like, man, I want to try that. But it's like I struggle with it because it's like, dude, you don't go to Capital Grill that frequently. You can't pay
Right.
$1.20 a person
Yeah. Yeah.
often,
Right.
with drinking, but um so I was like, ah shit. But I'm like, usually at Christmas we get to a steakhouse, so I guess I can have like a good steak. I was like, I don't know, those lamb ribs do sound good though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or lamb rib chop.
I bought a rack of lamb ribs today at BJ's. Um, I threw them in the freezer, and I'm gonna fire them up on Easter because we're doing a brunch for Easter. So like my Easter will be effectively done by fucking noon. So then I was like, well, obviously, like it's just gonna be me and Amy later in the day. Like I need to eat dinner, right? Like I'm gonna be hungry. So I was like, oh, I just happened to be at BJ's today and I walked through the meat section and they had a rack of lamb ribs and I was like, yeah, that's the winner. They had like whole lamb legs. They had like a butterfly lamb
Yeah, that's a
fucking,
lot of food, man.
yeah. And
Like
I
who's
was
gonna
like,
eat
dude,
all
I
that?
I can't do a fucking 7 pound like lamb roast. Like that's insane. There's just two of us.
Yeah, as I say, that's my problem most of the time is who's gonna eat all this stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So um we'll see. We'll
But
see how
yes,
that
the
that
veal
comes out.
tomahawk from Capital Grill, worth the time. It's not even worth the money because it's actually cheaper than the steaks, or it's right in there. Everything
Yeah,
costs fucking 60 something bucks
right, right.
or more.
But yeah, I mean, I would venture a guess here that just about everything on the menu at Capital Girl is probably worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only decision you may have to make is this worth getting at Capital Grill? Like,
Right.
I don't know what it was, and like when we went in June, I think Michaela got scallops, and it's like I'm sure it was an unbelievable dish. And it's what she wanted at the time. I forget what it was. Maybe like her stomach wasn't feeling too good. Maybe she just didn't want to eat all that beef. I don't remember. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I'm sure it was unbelievable. I'm like, for me,
Yeah.
it's always going to be a cut of something.
Right. Right. Yeah. If I'm
And
going
that's
to
the only,
a classic steakhouse like that, like I'm gonna get some sort of crazy meat.
yeah, and that's the only thing though. So now it's like, so because we have another gift card, so we will be, going back. It's like, do I go back to a steak or am I going to give the lamb ribs a shot? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
It's tough decisions sometimes, man. It's tough.
Yeah. These are the decisions that really matter.
Yeah,
These are the
deciding what to
important
eat at
ones.
Capitol Grill, it's hard. You don't know how hard I have it, pal.
You're right. I don't. I don't. No one does, right? So I guess piggybacking off of my anti-government rant from a few minutes ago and the theme of this podcast where we just kind of railed on how retarded Massachusetts politicians are. Um, Amy and I went to see Dave Smith last night with Sexy Chris and his girlfriend. Shout out to Sexy Chris. And he was fucking great. So Chris and I are both really big Dave Smith fans. Um, like it's kind of a race. Like whenever he goes on Rogan to see which one of us texts the other one, be like, "Oh shit, Dave Smith." There's two people that we do that with. It's Dave Smith and Mike Baker. And if he's listening to this right now, I'm sure I just got a little chuckle out of him. But whenever one of those people go on Rogan, it's like a race. Like, oh shit, dude, Mike Baker's on Rogan, or oh shit, Dave Smith is on. Um, so I admittedly, right, have not seen a lot of Dave Smith's stand-up comedy, right? I'm a fan of Dave Smith from his podcast, from his Twitter, from his videos. Like, I just follow him because I think he's a insanely intelligent guy that has some really nuanced and interesting opinions on the world, and politics in general. I like that he's not like well, I believe all the way this and or I believe all the way that. Like you're kind of see people are starting to kind of sour on Bill Burr right now because Bill Burr is starting to be like a crazy woke person. And now like everyone's like, "Oh yeah, no, like I saw the left, like all these crazy lefties are already starting trying to claim Bill Burr as their Joe Rogan, right? They're like, "Oh, Bill Burr is the new Joe Rogan of the left." And it's like, guys, like just stop. Like just stop. Like
I
you
also
don't
did not get that impression. I didn't know that was a thing. I did not get that impression from. Did he have a special on Hulu?
yeah, yeah, Disney. I saw it
So
on Disney, so it's Hulu.
we watched it, and I did. Maybe I was missing something. Maybe I wasn't looking for it. I did not get that impression. But anyway,
Yeah, I
from Bill
haven't
Burr.
seen it. I haven't seen it. And the funny thing too is like I've always known that Bill Burr has been more on the liberal side, right? But the funny thing is Rogan isn't an ultra conservative. He's just painted that way by the media. Like Rogan is pretty liberal, right? He's just a common sense dude. And when shit doesn't make sense, he asks questions. So Dave Smith is a little bit more of like a traditional libertarian. He's a lot more of like anti-government, like, we don't need this much government and fuck this, which and fuck that and all that stuff, which sort of aligns a lot with kind of how I feel about a lot of parts of the government. Um, so I've always really liked him and the things that he said. And like I said, I've never seen a lot of his stand-up. I've seen clips here and there and I've seen some stuff, but like I've never sat down and like watched one of his specials or, a full length stand-up outside of clips on Instagram or whatever. So I didn't really know what to expect. But he crushed it. He was great. Um, And I said it to Amy afterwards. She enjoyed it for the most part, especially going in like she had no fucking idea who he was. But I said it to her and I go, I think it's really kind of a testament to like how talented he is. Is so he did like an hour, right? He went probably a little bit more than an hour, but the whole like first half of his show was all like politics, right? And he was ripping on both sides. Like he was ripping on Trump. He was like jokes about Trump, also calling Trump retarded, right? And shit like that. And then, going on Kamala Harris and Joe Biden being like, what is like, they're just morons too, or whatever. Um, but then the whole second half of his show was like traditional stand up. Like he's telling stories, making jokes, like telling a story about like his 5-year-old daughter or like shit like that. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was I thought it was really good, right? Because a lot of comics are kind of one way or the other, right? Like they'll stand there and do a full hour of politics, or they'll stand there and do a full hour of like storytelling stuff. So again, I thought it was cool, just from like a comedy perspective that he was able to kind of split that and almost have two separate shows, in a way. So he was great, way better than Bert Kreischer's stand up. I don't know. Have you seen that? Have you guys watched that yet?
Mm.
Um, we've watched a lot of comedy in the last like 2 weeks. So we watched Bert Kreischer's special. Um, to keep it sweet and simple, it's not good, right? Like to summarize it in 3 words or less, it's not good. I get it's fine, right? Like it's just whatever, dude. It's just not good. If you want to watch it, right? I'm sure you'll laugh at some parts. I didn't sit there for an hour and not laugh at all. Um, but his whole last bit is just really weird. It's super dark. Like people are crying. He's crying during it. Like it's just weird, man. Like it's just a weird thing that he tried to do. And I respect him for it because it was different and that's certainly not his shtick, right? But one of the things I said to Amy too was like, I think I'm kind of over the whole Bert Kreischer thing because he was super funny at first, right? Obviously, he had the machine, right? And the story, and he's crazy, and oh, yeah, whatever. But like, he's almost 50 years old, right? He's like 48, 49. And his comedy is still like, oh, I'm like trying to get my wife to give me a blowjob or something, or like, oh, I really am trying to like fuck my wife in the ass and she won't let me. And it's like, dude, aren't we past that? Right? Like, again, like you're 50, right? And this is your like fourth stand-up special in the last, you know, 5, 6, 7 years. Like, it's just the same. Like, you're not changing. Like, you're still like that, like, bro frat dude, like, comedy guy. I don't know. Like I said, if you want to watch it, go ahead, watch it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, don't watch it. It's awful. It's just, it wasn't good. Um, Andrew Schultz's special on Netflix, however, was fantastic. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Schultz is another guy though that I really like. Um, but I mean, if I had to rank them, obviously, Bert Kreischer is going to be last. But I would put Schultz probably at 2, and then Dave Smith's show last night at 1. So of the 3 comedy shows that we've watched in the last like 2.5 weeks, Dave Smith last night was great. So shout out to him. We also like literally bumped into him, quite literally, getting off the elevator when we first got there. It was funny because I was talking to Chris too, when we got there because he texted me and goes, "Dude, Dave Smith, like Dave just walked by us." And I didn't see the text until after when I almost got over there. And I was like, yeah, dude, like I literally like I bumped into him. I was getting off the elevator and he was getting onto the elevator. And it was one of those things where like I saw him and I was like, hey man. And like I gave him like a nod, like, whatever. And then the guy behind me that was getting off the elevator was like, "Oh shit, it's Dave Smith. Dude, like, what's up, man?" And he goes, "Oh, and Robbie," like the guy that he's on his podcast with that opens for him, like, "Oh, guys, like, this is awesome. Like, we're coming to see you later." And they were like, "Oh, yeah." And me and Chris both kind of laughed because, like, neither one of us is like that type of guy. Like, I'm not going to sit there and make a big deal out of someone that's like famous if I see them somewhere. Like I said, like, I'll be like, "Hey, man, how's it going?" Like, I'll say, like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm not going to be like, "Oh my God, Dave Smith." Like, whatever, dude. Like, even like Tom Brady. If I was in an elevator with Tom Brady, I'd be like, "How's it going, man? How you doing? Good? All right. Have a good night." And I mean, like, I don't know. Again, I'm just not that type of person. But yeah, it's kind of cool. I literally bumped into him.
It'd be me and wouldn't even notice. That would be my move. I'm at the nice show and I didn't even notice he just walked by me.
Yeah, yeah. It was actually in the same spot that we went to go see Brian Callen. Like
Oh, the seaport?
7 years ago at this point. Because I looked for the picture because I still have it on the phone because we did the meet and greet after. Because me and you took the picture with him. Um,
Me and you?
yeah,
Or
yeah,
you and
me
Derek did?
no, me and you. I have a
Oh,
picture of me and you flanking Brian Callen.
oh, I didn't even know we took that picture.
Yeah, it was me, you, Derek, Fia, and then Derek Healy and Meg, I think, were there. Um,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, there was the six of us that went. And that was 2018 because I went through my pictures to look and find it. I think it was like April of 2018. It was like almost 7 years in between comedy shows at Laugh Boston. So yeah, that's going to do it here for game one for us. We'll be back in a few minutes, but thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, hit subscribe up above, hit the thumbs up down below. Subscribe if you're an audio only guy. Leave us 5 stars and a review on Spotify and iTunes. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. Twitter is Sarcasm_speaks. Facebook is Sarcasm Speaks. Check out the show notes, support them, support us. And until next time, good night, everybody.